So the first step in the setup is setting up your local wallet. In this case, I'm going to be running my local wallet on a Windows machine. You can also run it on a Macintosh if you go that route, but for right now I'm going to show you the Windows setup. So what you want to do is you want to go to the worx website, and I'm going to have all these links on the comments section down below. So you want to go to the worx website to get your local wallet. Once you're on the worx website, you're going to click this wallet link over here, and that will bring you to the worx GitHub site. And the latest releases are always at the top, and you can always see the version number here. And I'm going to go for this first one here, which is in my case a Windows. So I'm going to go for the Windows. I'm going to save this onto the desktop. And now we have it here on the desktop. I'm going to extract it. You're going to want to extract this to what you want to consider your permanent location for this wallet. If you extract it here onto the desktop, it's always going to be on the desktop. This is basically the same as installing this wallet. This wallet is really just some executables, and installing it is just extracting these executables to a permanent location. So if you want to put it on the desktop, that's perfectly fine. You can have it there permanently. Or what I like to do is I like to put it out in, I go to my C drive, program files. The x86 is for 32-bit, this is a 64-bit Windows, so I go to program files, and I'm going to choose program files as my folder, and then in there I'm going to create a folder called worx, and it's going to extract everything into that folder. I have this box checked, so when it's done extracting, it's going to open the folder for me. So in here we have the binaries folder, go in there, and worx qt.exe. This is the executable, and what I like to do is I just like to send this to the desktop, which creates a shortcut on the desktop, and that's where I'm going to initiate running my wallet. So when I need to run my wallet, I'll run it from that link. You can put that link somewhere else. You can put it in your Windows area here, or I just leave it here on the desktop. One thing with a lot of these servers that I run into, I don't know if you run into this, but the newer servers, I need to go into the properties of these, and I need to unblock. Occasionally it'll block this file. So if you start trying to run this wallet and nothing happens, Windows has this option where it blocks this. So I'm going to unblock it, make sure it doesn't get blocked, and I did that on the actual executable. So now we have it installed, in a sense. We are going to run it for the first time. And the first time you run it, it's going to pop up a couple questions to you. Where do you want to create your default data directory? I would leave this, or where do you want to create your data directory? I would leave this in the default location, which is C users and their your username. I'm logged as admin right now. App data roaming worx. You want to leave it here in the default just in case you ever need help with this. It's easier for you to find it. So that's why I install it just in the default. So leave it in the default, hit OK. And now we just let it load up. Once it's done loading, it's going to try to download the entire blockchain here. And if this gets stuck, you may want to go onto the Discord server and ask people if they have any nodes you can add to the config file. But if you hover over here, you can see that this is processing fairly quickly. So I'm not sure I need to do that. Another way you can quickly check if this synchronization is stuck is you go to Tools, Debug Console, go to the Information tab. Here you can see how many connections you have to the network. It shows we have 3, and it also shows the current block that I am on. So I'm downloaded everything up to this block so far. As long as this number is increasing, you are downloading the blockchain. So I wouldn't worry as long as this number is increasing. But if this number gets stuck, then you probably want, if it gets stuck for like a half an hour, you probably want to go onto the Discord server and ask some people what's going on. But this looks like it's downloading perfectly fine. I don't need to worry about that. What I can do is I'm going to move on to the next step, while that's downloading, because we can start creating addresses while that's downloading. It doesn't get affected by that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a couple receiving addresses. The first one is this default address you get when you install the wallet. This one's perfectly fine for our first one. Our first one, I'm going to give it a label, so when you go to edit, you can change the label. The label is just a friendly name you give for this address. No one else knows what this label is, no one else can see it. You're the only one who can see it in this wallet. It's just a way to easily identify this address without having to memorize that entire thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this first address from exchange or from pre-sale, wherever you're getting your coins. So I'm going to be buying my coins on the exchange, so I'm going to create an address in here, and when I buy them on the exchange, I'm going to send them all to this address here. So I'm going to call this from exchange, hit OK. All I've done is change the label on it. This is just the address that it came with. So you can create as many of these addresses as you want. And if you're going to be buying from a bunch of different exchanges, you can create a bunch of addresses in here for each one. That way you can keep track if you want. It doesn't really matter. It's totally up to you. The next address I want to create, I'm going to create a brand new one. This is going to be my masternode collateral address, and I'm just going to call it masternode1. It's my first masternode here. So just call it masternode1, and this is what's called a collateral address. This is where you're going to send your coins to lock up in the masternode, and those coins are called collateral. And with worx, it's 1,000 coins. So I'm going to be sending 1,000 coins to this address, exactly 1,000 coins, and that will be my collateral for the masternode. So when I go to the exchanges, I'm going to send all of the coins from the exchanges to this address. Once I have them in here, once I have enough, once I have at least 1,000, well, I would say more than 1,000, you probably want 1,001 coins. When you go purchase them on the exchange, you're going to want 1,001. And the reason being, when you purchase them on the exchange, you need to send them to your wallet. When you send them to this wallet here, you're going to pay a transaction fee. So if you purchase exactly 1,000 coins on the exchange and you try to send 1,000 coins here to your wallet, when they get here, you're only going to have 999.9999 coins or something like that, because you're going to pay that transaction fee. And then when you try to transfer them from this address to your final collateral address, you're going to pay another transaction fee. So when you're on the exchange, purchase 1,001 coins. You could probably get away with 1,000.5 coins or something like that. But I just go with 1,001, and that gives you plenty of change to do all kinds of transactions. So send your 1,001 coins to this from exchange. But you'll see in a later step, when we're ready, after we've collected all the coins, we're going to send them to our final masternode collateral address. But right now, I'm just setting these addresses up. We'll move on to that step here in a minute. So once we have our two addresses, what we want to do is we can close this window. First thing we want to do is we want to encrypt this wallet. And you want to encrypt the wallet, that way you can make backups of the wallet and you can store them places, and if anyone gets access to those backups, they can't steal your coins off that wallet if they don't have the password to decrypt the wallet. So this will make your backups safe by encrypting it. So we're going to just go and encrypt the wallet. And I'm going to give it a super simple password. You do not want to put a super simple password on here. And you want to make sure you don't lose this password. If you encrypt this wallet and you lose the password, you cannot get to the coins that are on this wallet. So make sure you remember what this password is and you keep it in a safe location. So I've created my password. You don't want to create something this short. I've only created this short because this is to show you how this works, and I don't want to have a big long password. And the first time you do this, it's going to say, make sure you remember what your password is. And when it's done encrypting, it's going to say, I want you to restart the wallet. So hit OK, let it restart the wallet. Well, actually it closes the wallet. You're going to have to restart the wallet yourself. After it closes this, I always give it a few seconds to do some cleanup. Some of these wallets, when they close, they do some sort of back-end cleanup stuff, and if you try to reopen it right away, you might run into problems. So after you close it, wait 5 seconds, 10 seconds, then you can open it right back up. And it's still downloading the blockchain, but that's perfectly fine, because now we have an encrypted wallet, and we can tell because down here, if we hover over here, it says the wallet is encrypted and locked. And those are two different things. Encrypted means your wallet has a password on it. Locked is when you want to lock your wallet so no one can access it unless they use the password to unlock it. So the password will unlock it, but encrypted just means it has a password. So if I unlock the wallet, so I would just go to unlock wallet, put in my password. Now I still have an encrypted wallet, but it's unlocked, and it says that wallet is encrypted, meaning you can you have a password on it, so no one can steal that backup. But it's currently unlocked, so if somebody came in here and clicked the send button, they would be able to send my coins without putting in the password. So I only unlocked it to show you how that works, but in the future, when we start using the wallet, you're going to want to have the wallet unlocked for staking only. So I just locked it just now, and you can see I just locked it. And when you unlock it, after we have the masternode set up, you're going to want to unlock it, and you want to do it just for staking only. And what that does is it allows you to have it locked so no one can send your coins, but your wallet is unlocked so you can stake your coins. And it says there for you right now. It says wallet's encrypted and currently unlocked for anonymization and staking only. So that means if someone tried to send the coins, they would still have to enter the password. And that's what you want. So now we have an encrypted wallet. We have a couple addresses we need. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a backup of my wallet. Just go to File, Backup Wallet. And I'm going to save it on the desktop. And I'm just going to give it a quick name, which is just the name of the coin and then a date. And I created that backup here on my desktop. What I'm going to want to do is put this backup somewhere safe, not on this computer. Because if you keep all your backups on this computer, if this computer goes down, you're basically lost your backups and your originals. It's futile. So you want to take this backup, put it on a thumb drive, throw it into a safe or somewhere, something like that. But don't keep the password in the same location as the backup, because then somebody has your backup and the password to get access to the coins in your backup. So you want to keep them in separate places. Put this backup .dat file on a thumb drive and put it in a safe. Make a copy of your password maybe and put that somewhere, or if you can remember that password, then more power to you. But I can't remember these passwords. So we now have an encrypted wallet and we have a backup. So our wallet is all ready to start sending coins to it. So what you want to do is you go to File, Receiving Addresses. Now you can go and check out your addresses that you created earlier, and you're going to want to right click this and do Copy Address from Exchange, and then you go to the exchange and then you send the coins to this address. So I would go out there and buy at least 1,001 coins and send them to here. You don't have to buy them all at once. You can buy a little bit at a time, put different buy orders in. And then once you have 1,001 coins, we'll move on to the next step. So I'm going to pause the video while I go purchase some coins, and we'll be back in a minute. Alright, we're back, and you can see here that I have sent myself 1,001 coins. I'm on the Transactions tab, and you can see that I have sent 1,001 from the exchange. And right now it's has 1 of 6 confirmations, which means I can send this now to my Masternode collateral address. So what I want to do is go to the Send tab and go to File, Receiving Addresses, so I can copy my Masternode collateral address. Copy that address. And when you paste it, you see that it automatically filled the label. That way you know it's good. It's the same address that was on that other screen. So I want to send 1,000 coins exactly. So my balance is 1,001, and you can see here there is a transaction fee So this is why you sent yourself a little bit more than 1,000 coins. And I suggest 1,001 just so you have a bunch to do lots of transactions if you mess this up. So in one single transaction you want to send 1,000 coins to your collateral address. And that's what I'm doing here. My wallet is unlocked. Well, it's unlocked for anonymization and staking only. So you'll see when I try to send this, because it is locked, it's going to say you need to unlock it. So I need to unlock it, but I don't want to unlock it just for anonymization staking. I want to unlock it so I can send stuff. So I can put in the password now. It says, are you sure you want to send it? It's going to send 1,000 coins to this address, and there's going to be a tiny little transaction fee. And you want to say yes. So now, if you come back to your transactions, you can see that you have just paid yourself 1,000 coins. And you don't see the 1,000 amount here because the coins did not leave your wallet. They just transfer between addresses in your wallet. So you're only seeing the transaction fee. That fee did leave your wallet, went out to the miners. So this is my transaction to my collateral address. What I do need to do is wait for this transaction to hit 16 confirmations. So right now it hasn't even hit 1. So you're going to need to wait. If you want, you can wait for the 16 confirmations, or you can move on to the next few steps and move on with setting up the masternode while you're waiting for that. So now you can see it looks like it has made 1 confirmation, got 15 more to go. This is 1 of 6 recommended. That's just so you can trust that the transaction you made was accurate. So if somebody sends you some coins, you don't want to trust it until you've hit what the recommended number is. So once it hits 6, then you can say, okay, well, they definitely sent me those coins. But I know I sent them to myself, so I know I'm not scamming myself. So I sent them right away. So now I'm just waiting now for the 16 confirmations. And what I can do is I can move on to the next step of setting up the masternode. So I'm going to pause here. We'll move on to the next step. Alright, so I let the wallet sit for a few minutes, and I actually had to do a couple more transactions, so you see something changed here. But it shouldn't change anything to what you've done already. But still, we're waiting for the 16 confirmations on that collateral transaction we did. Right now I'm at 8, but we can move on to the next steps here while we wait for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a couple configuration files here in this Windows wallet. The first one is going to be the wallet configuration file. If you open this up, then you're going to want to paste in the contents I have in the comment section below under worx.config or .conf. Paste that in there. First thing you want to put is the rpcuser and password, and these are legitimate username and password you want to put here. Don't put something like what I'm putting right now, which is just garbage. You want to put something that's a real username and password that has capital letters, lowercase letters, numbers. You want to, make it say 10 to 12 characters or something. You don't need to remember this. You don't need to write it down anywhere. It only exists here in this config file. But you want it to be a real secure username and password. Next piece of info we need to put in is our external IP address. So that's for your computer. You want to make sure you have a static IP address, and if you don't have a static IP, or if you're moving between networks and getting different IPs all the time, you can't run a masternode. You need to have a static IP address. And if you don't know what your IP address is, you can just go to Google and search for what is my IP, and it will give you your IP address. That's your external IP address. So you want to paste that in here, and then :3300, paste your IP address again here with 3300. And this 3300 is the port that you're going to be running on. You may need to open that port up in your firewall, or you may need to forward the traffic on that port through your router. if when you set this up and it doesn't work, and you don't know how to open up that port on your firewall or forward the traffic from your router, you probably don't want to be in there messing around with that type of stuff. You don't want to mess with your firewall. That could cause your computer to be insecure. So if you can't get it working like that, you probably want to go and set up your wallet using the Linux plus a Windows machine method, and there should be another video for that. It's not very difficult, and it's more secure, and you don't have to mess with the firewall. But it may work like this, and it's a simple way to set it up if you want to just set it up real quick. So next piece of info we need is this masternode genkey value. So we're going to go back into the wallet and go to Tools, Debug Console. And in here we're going to type two different commands because we need a couple pieces of, well, three pieces of information. The first command we're going to type is masternode genkey. And what that gives you is a private key for your masternode. And don't share this with anyone. It's a private key for your masternode here in your wallet. So we're also going to need a piece of information and a different piece of information. So in here you want to type masternode outputs, and this will give you two more pieces of info. The first one here is your collateral transaction ID. You're going to put this in a different config file, and then your collateral output value. This is going to be a 0 or a 1 on your machine. On my machine it's a 0, could be 1 on yours, it doesn't really matter. So what we need to put in this worx.conf file is this masternode genkey, the private key for our masternode. So put that value in here. Save this worx.config and close it. Next we want to set up the masternode configuration file. So you just set up the wallet config, now we're going to go for the masternode configuration file. And in the comments section you will also see an example for that. So you want to copy that and just paste that in here. First piece of info is your alias. It's just a friendly name you're going to give for your masternode. Here I'm calling it MN1. You can call it whatever you want. If you had a bunch of masternodes, you would give each one a different name so you can tell them apart. Next, you're going to put your external IP address to your computer. If you don't know what your external IP address is, you can just go to Google. I already have it up, but let's just go to Google to show you how to do it. And you say, what is my IP? And Google will spit out your IP address for you. And you want to make sure you have a static IP address. If you're on a network where you're getting different addresses all the time, then you can't really run this masternode. You want to have a static IP address so your masternode is on a static IP. So paste your IP address there. Next is your masternode genkey value. That is back here on the debug console. And that was the value under masternode genkey. Copy that. Paste it here. And the next piece of information is the masternode output transaction ID value. That's this value here. So you would highlight that. Paste that in there. And the very last piece of info is this masternode's outputs 1, 0 value. That's that value out here. It's either a 0 or 1. In my case it is a 0. So now I have my masternode line here. These other lines you see up here with the pound sign in front, these are just comments. You can leave those in or you can delete them. I just leave them in because I don't want to touch them. So this masternode's config file looks good. I'm just going to save this and close it. We don't need this debug window anymore. Now what we can do is check our transaction count, and we're at 15. We just need to wait for one more transaction or one more confirmation, and then we can restart this wallet and boot up our masternode. So let's just wait around until this gets up to 16 confirmations. Alright, so now we're at 16 confirmations. What we want to do is file exit, let the wallet close down for a minute, and open it back up. Now we want to let it synchronize again. It's going to synchronize a bunch of masternode data and worx data, and we just need to sit back and let it finish synchronizing. Once that's done, then we'll move on to starting up this masternode. Alright, the wallet has synced up. I notice here that this wallet is locked. I'm going to unlock it first. That way I can start up the masternode. If it's locked, when you try to start it, it will warn you and say you can't do that. So I now have it unlocked. So we'll go to the masternodes tab, and you can see this is the masternode we set up in the configuration, and it says missing, which is fine. You just want to go highlight it, hit start all, hit yes. Successfully started one masternodes. Now it is enabled. That means we are running. The masternode is running right now. One thing you want to do, just to double check that the network can see your masternode, is you're going to want to check out the masternode list on the Block Explorer. So down in the comments, you're going to see a link to the Block Explorer. So let's go to the Block Explorer and double check that our masternode is visible out on the network. So in the Block Explorer, there's a tab here for masternodes. And what you want to do is, in the search box there, you're going to want to type your masternode IP address. So here in the search box, I'm going to type 149.28.12.17, and you can see it's listed here in the Block Explorer. It says it's enabled. It says it has not been paid yet. That's a default date for that basically means it has never been paid yet. That's the beginning of time, I believe, for C or something like that. But it shows we are active for 0 days, 0 minutes, 0 seconds. And that's right, because we just started this. But this tells me that this masternode is visible out on the network, and it's visible and it's enabled. So everything should be working fine. The only thing now to do is sit back and wait for your first reward. Sometimes these first rewards can take 8 to 12 hours, something like that. So what I would do is just let it run overnight and wait in the morning, and in the morning you should see some sort of transactions of rewards. One thing I'll also notice here is that this wallet is locked again. So once I started it, it relocked it. You're going to want to unlock it for staking only. So if it's locked, you want to come here, unlock, and then you want to check this box. You want to, for anonymization and staking only. This allows your wallet to stake all the coins that you receive in rewards. So I would check that, put in your password. Now it's changed, and make sure it says that the wallet's encrypted and unlocked for anonymization and staking only. That way your wallet will stake as soon as you start getting the coins. So if you go to sleep and you have a bunch of coins in the morning, they will be staking by the time the morning comes around. So your masternode is all set up and good to go.